I'd like to zoom in on a specific area of our audits, and that's supplier compliance and our approved supplier programs. So I know audits cover like every part of our business, but by zooming in, I'm hoping to share how using this audit data can be efficient and valuable beyond just our compliance. So on the left side of our screen, we've got some of the pieces of our auditable data and what it might look like. And on the right side, I'd like to talk about the business outcomes that we can leverage from this auditable data. So we've got an approved supplier program in place, and we've got evidence of that. We've got product material specs defined, confirmed compliance. We've got all that information being distributed to the relevant parties in the organization. Like, those things are going to be in place, and that's going to be what compliance looks like. Our vendors are going to be identified. We're going to know who we're buying things from. We've got their requirements defined, so we know what they have to do. We've got to have these elements from them to demonstrate compliance to our programs and to our products. We've defined what our approval criteria is. We've got evidence of all that information collected and filed. We've got their vendor approval status somewhere in our system, and we're performing our annual assessments, whether that be our food fraud vulnerability assessments or just supplier performance overall. And we've got all the necessary documents and records received from those suppliers on time. They've been reviewed by our quality personnel so that we know they're accurate and up to date. They've been approved. The vendor status has been confirmed in our ERP system or however we purchase products from those folks. And all of those records are stored for retrieval so that if an audit does occur, we're ready to provide that evidence. Now, if we look across those pieces to what business outcomes we achieve beyond our GFSI cert, we can have regulatory compliance, of course, but we also add levels of risk mitigation, and we can maintain business continuity. COVID showed us how vulnerable our supply chains are, and the fact that these supply chains can disappear and evaporate overnight. Having multiple suppliers approved for specific ingredients helps us maintain our business's lifeblood of ingredients to convert to spec. We get faster product and recipe updates if we've got the right systems in place. So having tools that have flow downs and automated ingredient and vendor updates with notices between the departments, it speeds up all of these interactions, and it helps us confirm that not only are we auditable, but that our business is operating as effectively as it can. With these tools in place and collecting this data, we'll have less time spent chasing vendors for evidence of compliance. No more manually going through all your vendor list and going through their requirement list and saying, hey, can you please, for the 38th time, send me your updated kosher and halal certificate, and hoping that they reply. Right? Let's have systems that do that for us and alert us when things go expire, or when we do receive a piece of evidence and we need to review it, and it lets us know. It just helps us set those requirements and not necessarily forget it, but automate the work that's going to happen there in that retrieval and status tracking. And then finally, all of our departments are going to be working from the same information set. Purchasing knows that this vendor is approved because it's connected to our vendor approval program in whatever system we may be using. And if that vendor had any discrepancies, the system would have automatically flagged that. It would have automatically updated that ERP or procurement system to say we're not allowed to buy from this person because they're not approved. And if we have alerts built in, the teams know when that happens and know to engage if that creates a problem. So it helps speed up all of these transactions. It ensures that our systems are up to date and that everyone's working from the most recent data sets that they need, and that we're compliant with our GFSI programs.